Hey everybody, welcome to the PK Sportscast. I'm your boy John, aka that PK boy, here with Caleb and Knock. How you guys doing today?
Great. I'm doing great.
Man, doing good, man.
Man, it has been a crazy week of football. I cannot wait to get into it, guys. First thing I want to go over though, before we start recapping week one, is our point system for our two early predictions. So you guys know we did some two early predictions in the preseason. We have a whole game going on about it. So I just wanted to pull this graphic up so it's clear to everyone how the rules work. So we're giving away 1 point for each of the 272 regular season games. Outside of that, if someone guesses an exact score, they get 5 points for that game. But only one person will be rewarded points for a game unless there's a couple of instances where we picked exact same scores by a matter of chance, but it's not that often. So, with that said, moving into the week one recap, I'm going to go ahead and throw this over to Knock because, as you guys can see, this man has 8 points out of the 16 games, even closest picks. And I have to say, honorable mention here. This man picked four of those 8 games within 2 total points, not per team, 2 points of the final score off. So, Knock, like, how are you feeling after all
Oh man, how can I be feeling right now? I mean, I feel amazing. What can I
that?
say? I mean, we're gonna change my name. I'm no longer Knock. I think I need to be the artist formerly known as Knock, and you should now refer to me as Knockstradamus. Okay, because this week pretty much went exactly as I suspected. I only missed three winners if you don't count the tie that Indianapolis ended up in. And I was pretty scarily accurate on some of those. So yeah, I want to point out actually, you guys gave me a lot of smack talk last week whenever I picked Minnesota over Green Bay. And I said it was going to be a close game, and look, it wasn't even close. Minnesota dominated, and then I was the only team that took Cleveland. You guys thought Baker was going to do something, and I pointed out that Cleveland was going to come out and run the ball down their throat. And I remember that Matt Mango, our buddy, he told me, "Yeah, they're going to run the ball because that's all they can do." And we laughed because it's true, but that's all they needed to do was run the ball, and they ran it right down their throat. So yeah, it was great. I know I gave you a lot of shit about Green Bay being your pick for the Super Bowl, and man, I said, who are they going to throw the ball to? I don't have the passing yards pulled up, but I don't think it was Aaron Rodgers' best game of his career by any kind of means. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm feeling pretty good today. Where I missed, I kind of feel like we kind of all missed. Um, so I don't feel too bad about that. But but yeah, I mean everything went about as I predicted. The Chiefs game was great. We got the win, baby. I'm on cloud nine after week one. Um, our boys looked sharp. I mean, we basically had backups in the whole fourth quarter. It was awesome seeing the way that we dominated that game. We did have some injury problems. We lost Trent McDuffie. He's now on injury reserve. He's going to be out for several weeks. So that's the big one. We already have a young secondary, but other than that, man, great week. I'm super stoked about that.
Man, I don't know. That's. I have nothing else to say except for yes, you are right, Nostradamus. Because man, that is insane. And I want to. You mentioned the Cleveland game. Just want to say he would guess that one 26-24, and the end score was 27-24. So congratulations, man. That's honestly a crazy week. If you can do that one again, we're gonna have to really promote you on this show for sure a lot more. But Caleb, what did you think of the Chiefs game this week? What was your takeaway?
You know, I have to I will give Marengo a slight edge to this one. Uh, Knock, I know you won this one, but Marengo was the only one that saw this being a 20-point game. Now, while it may be, you know, He only had Arizona scoring 10. In reality, they dropped 21. The Chiefs still beat them. They more than doubled their score. So I got to give my hats off to Marengo for that one. I didn't see that coming. I thought Arizona was going to put up more of a fight. But, Mahomes is Mahomes, and he's going to do Mahomes things. He looked really, really good out there. He was showing love. He was getting everybody involved. He sent a message to the football world saying, "Hey, I love Tyreek, but y'all wanted to talk on me, acting like I'm not that dude. Tyreek didn't make me. I am going to go out here. I'm going to sling that thing, and I'm going to make sure that everybody knows KC is still on the map. Don't worry about it." He looked really, really good. And, I know he's always had these bouts where, season openers, he's been amazing. Nothing short of incredible week one against Arizona.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was an awesome game to see. I feel like everybody was constantly just like talking about the Chiefs being 9-8. Y'all know how I felt about that from our first couple episodes and our polls on Twitter. It just, you know, I really enjoyed seeing that statement game and kind of piggybacking off what you said about Marengo. He did call a blowout. Now, not won the point, which means he may have seen a blowout with some garbage time points because that's really all it was. So kudos to Knock for putting the garbage time points in there, but also kudos to Marengo for knowing we were going to destroy them. So that was a pretty crazy game. I didn't even expect that. So that was awesome. This man Mahomes went out there first game without Tyreek, puts up 360 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions, 30 for 39. So this man just went out there. He was almost at a perfect passer rating. I think it was 144 passer rating. It's pretty dang good for an opener. Um, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, he was hitting a bunch of different targets. I love to see it. It's the same thing I said was you just don't know where he's going now, and I think it makes him more deadly moving forward. But it is also week one, so I'll keep that in mind too, and just hope that we see that kind of performance again in the coming weeks. So, moving from there, though, I've been not wanting to talk about this since Sunday, man, but we're just gonna go ahead and get it out of the way. Caleb, and Marengo's not here to gloat, but I might have been wrong about a game last week between the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots, and Caleb might have been correct. Caleb, how are you feeling about the Miami and New England game?
You know what, Marengo? I got us this week, boy. I got us. Don't you worry about it. Because listen, we were on record. It was me and you, Marengo, against these two yahoos. I don't know what in the world they thought. No, I'm playing. It's week one. It's like you said. It's week one. I am going to talk smack though. But best believe, because Miami put the beat down. John, if I'm not mistaken, you had New England winning at 35-17. Not 28-13. Yeah, and again, gotta give this to Marengo. He got the point for it. I guessed it was going to be a little bit closer. Yeah, 20-7 route. Yeah, that's tough. I didn't see that. Your boy Mac Jones. That was a little rough, but you know what? Like you said, week one, there's really, yeah, we could take we have our own takeaways. We have our own takeaways, but again, week one, there can still be a lot of time. You still got Bill up there in New England, man. So I won't talk too much smack on that one, but I was right. Marengo, you were right too, my boy. That's right. We won this one. You laugh. You laugh, but I'm telling you. I'm telling you, y'all talked all that and they
I did.
scored 7.
I did. And I led the pack. I talked a bunch of smack. Um, and I said that the Patriots are a better institution, and even though I'm Nostradamus now, I did get this one wrong, and it's costing me a tank of gas. So yes, I have to give both of you guys lots of credit. And to be honest, as I even got a lot of points, which might take you about at this pace 8 weeks, Caleb, to get as many points as I have right now. But you
Woo!
actually have a full tank of gas, and I don't. So for that, I have to give you credit. Now, I will say, I thought that this was going to be not a knock on Miami, but it was going to be a game about the way the Patriots were a better organization. They were just going to be better, right? And I don't think I was completely wrong. Like if I'm looking at it right now, Tua QBR 78.2, right? That's very mediocre. I mean, he was 23 for 33 with 270 yards. Now, he didn't have any interceptions, and that's going to be a big deal when you're playing against a Bill Belichick defense. You look at Tyreek, he did what Tyreek things. He had about 8 catches, about 100 yards. Let me check, 94 yards. Jalen Waddle was explosive. I mean, they looked good, but they weren't great. They weren't exceptional. Their defense played very good. And with that being said, I think it was really more about how bad the Patriots were. I mean, they were abysmal. They couldn't do anything right. It was horrific. I thought we would see a better,
Terrible.
rejuvenated Mac Jones, and we didn't see that. I think we're seeing direct results of their offense completely changing, and we're seeing their previous offensive coordinator now being the head coach there with the Raiders, and Josh McDaniels, and they're really missing that continuity. I'm looking at Mac Jones' stat line. The kid went 21 for 30 for 213 yards. He had a QBR of 9.7. Oh
Mm,
man, oh that's tough. You can't win
mm.
like that. So, I will give you guys credit. You called that one. I had no idea that the Patriots would be that far off on offense, and I have them making a wild card spot, and I'm really kind of reconsidering that. But yeah, didn't look so hot.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. So this season, obviously I was wrong this week, man. I'm giving up the mango money and the Caleb cash for sure. I dug myself a hole, and now I'm paid for it. I won't be riding around with that free gas, like I said last week. But I'm gonna still ride with the Patriots past week one. I think week one a lot of teams are still sloppy. There's not a lot of chemistry there. I know they've got a rookie running back who was taking half the carries. Not saying that that's a huge difference, but like teams aren't really formed yet. Um, and I had Miami and New England splitting this season, so I think they play in week 16 or 17. I think when that time comes back around, I think New England can get that win. I've got Miami as my 6th seed and Patriots as my 7th seed. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that they would lose this game. I do think Miami's a better team overall. We'll see if they can beat them a second time. But yeah, this week I'm definitely paying for that one. And I'm pretty sure I said it was not impossible, but should be. Or pretty close to it. So congrats, Caleb, on that win. But, with that said, you were correct about Miami for sure, man. But I'm gonna lay into you a little bit, man. You were the only person who only got 1 point this week, and you were also the only person that thought that Dallas was going to beat Tampa. And boy, were you wrong! Do I wish I put money on that game? Because not only did they lose, but they lost their starting quarterback, meaning that Knox Super Bowl pick for the NFC may as well be changed. I mean, he can't change it now, but I would hope that maybe in an updated prediction, it's not that. Looks like Dak's gonna be out a minimum of 6 weeks for surgery. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see if he can come back and make something happen. I know Mahomes won a Super Bowl after an injury, but it wasn't hand surgery, and he wasn't 6 weeks. So we'll see if Dallas can win some games. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about Dallas? I mean, I'll start with you, Caleb. You thought Dallas could come in and win. You were talking big stuff last week, saying that they only lost by 2 in week one last year, so they were going to come in and put things to work at home. Did you expect it to go that way? Even like they didn't look good with before Dak got hurt either. Like they just looked bad.
They looked horrific. And you know what bothers me, and I'm embarrassed over above anything. I had Dallas dropping 31 this game. Yeah, not even remotely close. I never want injury on anybody. Let's just get that out of the way now. But they were cute the whole game. And the whole game I was watching, I was thinking, all right, somebody's got to get something going. And they didn't. Tampa gained confidence because Dallas couldn't get anything going. And time came around where I did not have faith in this Dallas team at all. Um, you know, and to see Dak go down the way he did, missing 6 weeks, I mean, that's really tough. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to give it to you, Cowboy fans, because I'm sick. Like, that makes me sick to see a quarterback go down like that week one and miss a good portion of the season. Um, Knock, I know you said that it may take me, what was it, 7, 8 weeks to catch up. You might lose on that one because you have Dallas going to the bowl, and they're obviously going to lose on a lot of those weeks now. Well, and you know what? Maybe not. I don't want to say obviously, but you have them going to the bowl. um, I got some bad news for you. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think that's gonna plan out. I don't, my man. What you thinking on that now?
Well, that's a good point. I did pick them to go to the Super Bowl, and I'm still riding with my pick for those guys to go to the Super Bowl. Look, how about them Cowboys, Caleb? You need to get it through your thick skull. The Cowboys are here. They're for real, okay? And they're a team to be reckoned with. I know they're getting off to a rocky start. I know that there's been an injury. I mean, but you got to look at the positives. All right, you have to look at the positives. First of all, what about that two-headed lion they have at running back with Zeke and Pollard? I mean, look at that. I mean, and they got a quarterback who's always injured. I mean, look at that. No, you know what, guys? I think you probably have a point. They don't look good. They don't look
I was
good at
gonna
all.
say they're a
Zeke
positive
and
three
Pollard,
above zero.
they Zeke and Pollard look abysmal. Zeke just doesn't do much with every carry. He looks like Zeke, but he doesn't play like Zeke. He plays like we should not call him Zeke, like we should call him by his entire name, Ezekiel. Okay? He's not playing like Zeke. He's playing like Ezekiel because he's just underwhelming. I mean, they're saying a quarterback could be back. Dak could be back as little as 4 weeks. Right? They didn't even put him on injured reserve. They thought his surgery went well, but pretty sure I heard someone say, and I want to say it was Keyshawn, say, I've never seen a quarterback come back from having screws and plates in his throwing hand.
Mm,
Never, not one time. And so that's a little concerning. But, there was a time when players didn't come back from ACLs either. And we see what Michael Thomas did with 2 touchdowns, right? So, it's a new day. It's a new era. If you look at my schedule, I don't have the Cowboys starting off hot. I actually have them starting off pretty poorly. I only have them winning 3 or 4 of the first 8 weeks. But I just have them finishing strong and going into the playoffs hot as a wild card. So I might still eke out a couple of points here and there because I don't have them winning every game. And as a matter of fact, I almost won the point from this week because I had them losing against Tampa Bay also. So with that being said, I feel okay about my picks, but it really depends on Dak coming back.
Yeah. I mean, you hate to see it happen to a quarterback like that. I feel like I'm not a big Cowboys fan, but I'm always rooting for Dallas. So hopefully he comes back healthy and they can still do at least something this year because I do still have them having a good regular season, though I don't know if Super Bowl is really in the cards. Um, but we'll do a brief recap of just some of the games that happened this weekend. The week started off really well for me. Buffalo beat the Rams. That was my point there, and that was about the only one I got. Moving forward, there were some other interesting honorable mentions here. New Orleans at Atlanta was a really good game actually. Atlanta blew another 3-score lead, or I guess technically 2-score. That means 16 points. I thought that was great. Taysom Hill got a touchdown in. Like you said, Michael Thomas had 2. I think that they're going to be a decent team this year. That was an interesting comeback to watch. Um, Cleveland, Carolina. We know that Cleveland took that one. I didn't mention. I'm sorry. Knock got the point for New Orleans. He also took the point for Cleveland. This is going to be a bit of a bit of a trend. Is going to be Knock winning these games, but yeah, Cleveland. He was very close. So that was good. San Francisco at Chicago. That one surprised, I think, everybody here except for Knock, who had that point as well. It was 17-10. It was 19-10. Um, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. That was a hell of a game to watch. If anyone had a chance to watch it, ups and downs the whole way. And man, kickers can really make or break a team sometimes. I think T.J. Watt's out with an injury. That was a really big one. Philadelphia at Detroit. Much higher scoring game than I expected it to be. Want to say, while I did not get the point for that game, Knock did for that one too. Sorry, I didn't mention Caleb got the Pittsburgh point. Um, 24-14 was my prediction for that game, and that was the end score of the first half. I just want to say that is my. I was a little right there, but Knock came through and had 34-24. It was 38-35. Everybody here still made it on the Indy pick because we all picked Indy to beat Houston, and somehow, some way, I don't even. Thank God they came back. But how do you tie with Houston? How do you go into you tie? You can't even put up a field goal. Anyways, we already know who won the New England and Miami game. That cost me some gas money. Baltimore beat the Jets as expected. Knock again, being within 2 points of that score. He guessed 23-10. It was 24-9. Jacksonville at Washington was kind of a toss-up. Everyone just kind of threw a score together. I was off by 3 points, 29-24. It was 28-22. Chargers Raiders was a decent game to watch. Feel like it went by really quick because the Chargers just ran out the whole second half. 24-17 is what Knock picked, and the score was 24-19. Insanity. The man was on fire. Green Bay at Minnesota. Don't even want to talk about it too much. Knock was the only one to pick Minnesota to win. He had him winning by 1 point. He should have picked more because they beat the dog snot out of them. I think maybe the dog water comment should have been saved for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, or maybe just the Packers receivers in general, because I don't know if anyone saw the rookie drop that pass and he never got thrown to again. We already talked about Tampa Bay and Dallas, and speaking of dog water, those dog water Seattle Seahawks came back and beat, or didn't even come back. They just led Denver the entire time. No one expected that. So, I mean, crazy week one. What do you guys think was the craziest part of this week? Caleb, I'll start with you. Out of all the insanity of week one, what was the one thing that just completely threw you off?
What the hell was Tennessee doing? You are up 13-0 to the 28th, going into the season, the 28th ranked in the power rankings, Giants. You're up 13-0 in the third quarter, and you lose the game 21-20 to the Giants. You know what? And we had a Knock. Knock, I believe, is the one that had Tennessee finishing the 9-8, if I'm not mistaken. I know Marengo and I had them going 12-5. Yeah, that's the one I'm going back on. You cannot lose. If you want people to take you seriously, you have to beat a team like the Giants week one. You have to. And at that, they blew a lead. You're up 13-0 in the second half, and you lose at home to the Giants. What were they do? I mean, I'm so dumbfounded. I don't even know where to go. I mean, I saw a couple bad fumbles. It was all around just a collapse. Where does Tennessee go from here? I think they've got a lot of questions that need to be answered. I don't know if they're trying to find an identity. You would think they would have it by now, but I really expected Tennessee to take care of business with this one. Matter of fact, I had them dropping 41. They didn't get anywhere near that. What are you guys thinking? Because I didn't know what to do with this.
I'm just
You know,
I'll be honest with you. Tennessee was like the one game that I didn't really like watch. Like I was watching the first part, but it looked like a blowout, so I ended up not watching the rest of it. And then I didn't even know that Tennessee had lost until probably an hour after the game had ended. So that is pretty insane to me. But I told y'all from day one, they're not a playoff team. I'm the one who had them 9-8. I'm the culprit. They are the ones who will not make the playoffs. You guys said I was crazy. You guys just saw it. Even I thought they were going to win week one and still miss the playoffs. They can't even win week one. I don't know. Knock, what are your thoughts, man? Was that insane to you? Any other games that are in particular that were insane to you?
yeah, I mean, it's a little crazy, right? I mean, I know I got really close on several games this week, and I'm sure I got pretty lucky on some of that. I really doubt that I'm able to do that again at any point during the rest of the season. But um, I definitely didn't see the Giants being that competitive with Tennessee. Um, so that was definitely an eye opener, and that's a good one for sure, Caleb. You know, the one that really stood out to me was the Seattle and Denver game. I mean, did you guys watch that? I mean, that game was out of this world. I expected Denver to dominate, and by all accounts, really they did. They did dominate. They had two running backs averaging about 5 yards a carry. You know, Russell Wilson was 29 for 42. You know, I mean, he didn't have a turnover, right? You're looking at these numbers and you're going, man, they dominated. When I watched the game, they were clearly the better team. But one thing I wasn't expecting, and you're right, because I gotta eat crow on this, is I said Seattle was going to be a dog water. I said their quarterbacks were trash. I went in on them, and Gino came out and threw 13 straight completions. My phone was blowing up with people talking mess to me about that because Gino came out like a madman. Like he personally listened to our podcast and took it in and played the tape. And he and DK already have an amazing chemistry. Um, you know, I was very surprised at how well they played. But let's be clear. Let's be clear. I wrote, just like a lot of people did, is I wrote Gino off. But he didn't write me back neither. You know what I mean? He didn't write me back neither. He didn't write any of us back that wrote him off. So good luck, good job to you, Gino. I'm very proud of you. I'm happy to see that you're taking full advantage of the opportunity you have there. And to be honest, even though I'm going to lose picks or losing the competition, I really do hope the best for you this season. I honestly do. Good job to you. But on the flip side, on with the Broncos, what the hell's going on with their coaching? I mean, they dropped two fumbles on the 1 yard line. Javante and Melvin Gordon both fumble the ball into the end zone. Not only, I mean, it's unreal. They could have easily had
Nice.
that game in hand if they don't have those two turnovers there. And then at the end of the game, what in the hell are you thinking, Hackett? What are you doing? You waste an entire minute and you have 3 timeouts, and then you kick the second longest field goal in history. You don't you have downs to work with. You have Russell Wilson. You can't get a pass up the middle on the sideline or anything during that time. It was horrible clock management. That entire game was lost because of turnovers and because of horrible clock management by the coaching staff. They were getting calls in late to Russell Wilson. Hackett looked horrible in his opening game, and if he doesn't turn around, they're going to be at the bottom of the AFC West.
Mm. Caleb, you got anything on any opinion on the Broncos game that is any different than what Knox said? Because I fully agree.
I mean, no. I mean, no. It's clock management was bad. I mean, you start looking at the numbers, and you're like, oh, like Denver won the game, and uh, you know, like you said, Russell Wilson didn't do. I mean, 340 yards. You have Russell Wilson back there. Well, what were we doing with the clock? No, everything Knox said was spot on. I watched that game, and I was scratching my head. I had no idea what was going on.
What really threw me off about specifically that last drive of the game, like, of course, like they shouldn't have been in that position. Like Knox said, like those fumbles at the end zone were just insane to me. And I'm not a Broncos fan. You guys have heard me on here slander him a little bit. Even I just didn't expect that. I got Javante Williams on my fantasy team. I didn't want to see that. But the last drive, it's 4th and 5 at what, the 48 or something. Like it was, you're 5 yards from a first down. You got a minute 11 on the clock. You have all 3 of your timeouts. I feel like you've got a couple options, right? You just paid this man almost $250 million for clutch fourth quarter situations. Like Geno Smith can be good in the first half. You saw that. So it's like, okay, we pay this guy. Let's let him get 5 yards for us. They were averaging, 6 or 7 yards a play? Like their offense did really well. So how, all right, whatever. So your first option is let him go for the first down. Or your second option is let's call a timeout at a minute 10. Let's go for this field goal. Or don't call a timeout, I'm sorry. Let's kick this field goal at a minute 10. If we miss it, we got all 3 timeouts to play defense, and we can maybe get the ball back with 30 seconds. The one option you can't do is run 40 seconds off the clock, then call a timeout, then kick the damn field
AFC
goal.
Championship, 13 seconds. Bills will never live it down. You got a minute and 10 and 3 timeouts.
That's just insane. And honestly, the biggest upset about that situation too is a quarterback like Russell Wilson. Like I was legitimately confused because I was kind of like doing other stuff and watching the game, and I remember looking over and I saw them. Like I watched them burn all the time, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" But when I saw he came off the field, I thought maybe they were giving him a play. And they were maybe like didn't like the defense they saw, and they decided to call a timeout, and they were going to come back out. But when I saw Russell Wilson he started taking the straps off some. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? A 64-yarder? You pay this man $250 million to let the kicker go out there and kick something longer than he's ever done? I don't know. That's just crazy. I don't know. If y'all saw McManus tried to come out and post, he was like, I should have made the kick. That's one I should have made. And I'm like, he's trying to help out the coach, but no, that's just poor coaching, man. That's terrible.
I agree.
And I don't know how a quarterback like Russell Wilson doesn't say, like, no, we're doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Mahomes can make a change to the offense in the middle of a Super Bowl while we're down to change the game. Russell Wilson can't say, we're not wasting 40 seconds of clock and then kicking a field goal here. Like, I don't know.
Peyton Manning would have never let that run off the clock.
Did you watch Peyton and Eli's stream of the game?
Yes.
He's sitting there for 30 seconds going
this. And man, I could tell because the volume was down. Manning was like, I think I saw him mouth, "What are they doing?" And just that's not a good look. It just isn't. It was horrible.
If it wouldn't have been his Broncos, he would have roasted a lot harder. Like I said, playoff football, AFC Championship, 13 seconds, no timeouts. But you got a minute and 10 with Russell Wilson, the $250 million man, and you don't take a shot. You let all that time. It's really unheard of. But my question is, John, did you see any other games that you had stand out to you?
Yes. Kind of like you said, I think I'm eating some crow because I've got Carolina 9-8 this season, guys. But they can't even come out and beat Jacoby Brissett and the Browns. Now, Browns are a really good, solid team, but they lost. While they do have the best running back core in the league, in my opinion, they lost their quarterback and their top 2 receivers this year. They don't have Jarvis Landry, they don't have OBJ, they don't have Baker, and they still came out there and beat Baker and the Panthers. McCaffrey played as well. I'm hoodwinked, flabbergasted, bamboozled. I'm pissed. I don't know what the heck. Like, congratulations, Doc. You were within 1 point of guessing that game, but to go out there and lose the way that they did just really upset me. And like it was. I don't know. We're gonna see what Baker can do there. It's week 1. I'll say the same thing for Denver. It's week 1. We'll see if they can get it together. But that was just extremely disappointing to me. I don't know how the Panthers lost that game. And it really has me concerned about how their season's going to go. Seriously, like, I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. I'm like Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that. Because, boy, that was pretty bad. Did you guys watch that game? Anything there? Knock obviously knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I watched the game. I watched the game. Really, it was a situation where Cleveland, managed the time clock. They ran the ball. They played solid defense. They owned time of possession as well as the um, the possession on the field. They kept the ball on the defensive side, so our field
Yeah.
position. They won the battle of field position. Excuse me. So um, they really dominated from that standpoint, just in the trenches. And then what we ended up seeing was Baker did make a push at the end. There were some blown coverages in the second half, and he hit perfect shots in stride. Definitely have to give Baker some credit, but at the end of the day, it was just too little, too late. The Browns had already gotten the upper hand, and they maintained it.
I was really hoping they missed the last field goal. It was what, a 58-yarder. It was a pretty long one, but kudos to the rookie. I know they got a rookie kicker who hit that thing too. So I don't think either team's going to do much this year, but congratulations to them. Cleveland is now halfway to the record I projected them at this season. So, but moving on from that, man, I'm ready to start talking about week 2. Um, because everyone knows week 1 is as exciting as it was. Week 2 is going to really show you, like, hey, are these teams actually this good or this bad, right? I think we got some good matchups this week, and I think the top game this week, and this isn't even just being a biased fan, it's tonight. I'm ready. The Chiefs playing the Chargers at home. Big division rivalry game. We split almost every season. The Chargers are projected to win the AFC West if it's not the Broncos. Knock, you obviously are a psychic, man. Nostradamus. What is to happen this evening? I see that your too early prediction. Let's see. Too early prediction here is 35-17 Kansas City. Are you still feeling that way?
You know what, I am. It might not be. It might be a little bit less. It might be more like 32-20 Kansas City. Okay, something like that. And the reason I say that is because, you know, they've got Bosa on the edge, and they added Khalil Mack. We've got a great left tackle situation. Our right tackle situation's decent, right? But they, you know, I bet you they're going to get at least one sack, whereas we didn't have a sack this week. So I'm expecting Kansas City to dominate that game, though. It's our home game. It's Thursday night. It's the first Amazon Prime game during prime time, baby. And I'm fired up. I've got the same hat I had on the day that we drafted Pat Mahomes. I've got the Pat Daddy jersey on. I'm excited, baby. It's going down. I think we're going to see extremely different plays than we've seen in the past. I think Andy's going to have a new wrinkle. We're going to see it for the first time tonight. Mark my words. And it's going to be one hell of a game. It's going to be one hell of a game. Caleb, what are you thinking?
I still think Kansas City takes care of business. I have them going, I think 41-38. Kansas City coming on top. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be a high scoring game, I think. As of right now, Chargers coach says it's not looking good for Keenan Allen, for whatever that's worth. Not looking good. That was posted on ESPN yesterday. I still think it's going to be a really good game. I'm really really high on Mahomes right now, as should be, obviously, but I think it's going to be a shootout. I really, really do. I think these two teams are going to come in. They're going to have something to prove. The Chargers haven't started 2-0 since, I want to say, 2012, something of that nature. They're hungry. They want to make a statement. But no, I see Kansas City coming in here taking a statement win. I'm really looking forward to this game tonight, boys. I think this is going to be a fun one to watch. Now my blood pressure may be raised here a little bit, but you know what? I honestly can't wait.
Yeah, man. Last year we played the Chargers. It was week 2 or 3, and we did take a loss. I think it was 27-24 in a very close game. I think that the Chargers are a really good team that we have to face twice a year. And you're right, they did add some really good points to their defense. I think they're going to be a much harder game to play than Arizona was. Arizona did not look ready. They were missing J.J. Watt. They were missing DeAndre Hopkins. They were a beat up team for sure.
Mhm.
They were a beat up team. So as nice as the win was this last week, I think we're going to be looking at something a lot closer this week. And I know I said that this is a rare thing that's going to happen, but Caleb and I actually have the exact same score prediction this week. We both went with 41-38. So I'm rooting for that score. I want to see a good game more than anything. If it's a blowout on the Chiefs side, I'll be happy. But I always enjoy when we play the Chargers. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think Kansas City's going to come out on top because, while they may have added some defensive pieces, same thing I've been saying for a few weeks now. Without Tyreek, you don't know where Mahomes is going, and I think that really does throw defenses off. I think the only thing they can really do is cover Kelsey and hope for the best. But we'll see. Our run defense is if our front seven can play well, I think we'll do a good job because it looked like they just ran the ball all over the Raiders in the second half once they got that lead. So as long as we don't get put in a bad time situation, I think we'll do really well. But it's always hard to tell with the Chargers, man. Those games are always chippy, and I love that about them. So I don't know, man. We're going to see what happens. Obviously, I'm going for my boy Mahomes to go for 360 and 5 tutties again, but we're going to see what happens. I think, did I see something that Mike Williams may not play? I know Keenan Allen was questionable, but I thought I saw something about Mike Williams as well. Google Master Caleb. But I think that's a huge factor as well. We will see.
Not seeing anything as of right now for all intents and purposes.
Well, good. I don't want any excuses when Kansas City takes them out. So we'll see, man. I think that'll be a good game. Another game I'm a little excited about this week, even though it's not in the AFC West, is going to be Miami at Baltimore. I think that's going to be a super interesting game. I think Miami showed that even early on in the season, they're decent. Patriots looked really bad. I'll be clear. Patriots looked really, really bad, more than Miami looked good. But the Ravens played the Jets last week. We still have yet to see what they look like against a real team. I think Miami could come in there and surprise them. What are you guys thinking? I'll go ahead and throw this one over to Caleb. I see that you've got Miami on top.
And it's kind of a small sample size, again, week one. But, the Patriots looked bad. The Jets are bad. That's who Baltimore played in week one. So, yeah, I do have Miami coming out on top. I really think. I was shocked. I had them winning, but I really liked how Miami looked. Tyreek, it looks like he's going to find him a niche there in Miami. I think he's going to run all over Baltimore. I really do. I that's just my prediction. I'm going to catch heat for this. I don't know if I'm really sold on Lamar. I'm not. So, you know what? People come at me. That's what I'm saying. I do not think Baltimore comes out of week 2 with a W. I just don't. Knock, what are you feeling?
Oh, come on, guys. This is easy. Baltimore. This is easy. Baltimore is going to dominate. Look, Baltimore is who I thought they were. Last week, they played the Jets. Mind you, the head coach of the Jets is Robert Saleh. He is the one that invented that defense. Well, didn't invent it, but he's the one that got the defense going there with San Francisco when they came to prominence into the Super Bowl era. And that's how he won his head coaching job there with the Jets. The Jets have a great defense, okay? And they still got handled. And I just want to be accurate, make sure I'm accurate here. Exactly like I thought they would. I said they'd be 23-10, ended up being 24-9. Okay. I expected that there would be some bumps in Lamar, having to deal with that defense. They don't see the Jets very often. With that being said, going into week 2, we've got a sample size. Now the league knows what this Miami Dolphins offense looks like. Now they know what it looks like with Tyreek there. Now they have an opportunity to kind of game plan for that. Baltimore, don't slouch on the Baltimore defense. Whether you watch football or not, whether you're a fan of the Baltimore Ravens or not, even in fantasy football, the Ravens defense is ranked high. Even in fantasy football. So even people's grandmothers and little kids know that the Baltimore Ravens defense is very good. So with that being said, I think when they go in here and they win it, as I suspected, big, Baltimore, 24-13 at home, easy money.
It's funny you bring up fantasy defense I happen to have Miami's defense in fantasy this last week, and let me tell you, they are pretty good as well. I'm not sure, man. It's hard to tell from the way that Week 1 went with Baltimore playing against the Jets. I don't really know if it was more the Jets being bad or Baltimore being good, mixture of both. I think Lamar's gonna be playing a little safe. He didn't get his contract done, and Miami hits people. So I don't know what we're going to see from him. I don't know if we'll see him scrambling as much. Is kind of what I was getting at there. Um, but we'll see. I think Miami looked really good in Week 1. If Tua can get the ball all the way to Tyreek every time, unlike his first drive, I don't know if anyone saw it. It was a viral video. Like they won the game, but I have to clown a little bit. The most accurate quarterback in the league threw it like 10 yards when Tyreek was out about 20 yards. And Tyreek, by the way, love Tyreek, man. He's one of my favorite players in the league, man. This dude was wide open. Like if he would have got hit, man, that was 7-0 game off first possession real quick. But so I don't know. Even though I'm talking a little bit of crap, though, I think Tua will get it together just like he did this last week against the Patriots. I think it's going to be a really close game, and I see it 31-30 Miami. That was my too early prediction. And I think I'm going to stick by it this week, man. I've already lost a tank of gas betting against Miami. I don't think I want to lose a second one. Matter of fact, I think I want to win one back. If you think that's easy money, Knock, I want to take you on that bet. I will take Miami against Baltimore this week.
All
I
right.
just don't know if it's going to be that high scoring. Sorry, not go
Oh,
ahead.
no.
I'll take Miami money line against you all day.
I was going to ask you how many points you want. I assume you need some points for this bet, but if you're looking money line, baby, let's do it. Matter of fact, I feel so confident. I'll take both of you guys on. Both of you guys, one single bet. You guys can split my tank of gas in the Beamer. All right. I'll let you guys split the tank of gas in the Beamer whenever I win this bet. Money line, Miami losing to Baltimore. Let's get it.
All right, I'll take a half
Okay.
tank of gas. I'm not betting against Miami again, though, man. I'm taking
Okay.
Miami.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right, bet. And since he ain't here, I'll take that mango money this week. Cool,
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
All right, well, that's gonna be a good game. I'm definitely gonna have to be watching that one Sunday morning now. So we have another one. Really excited about this game, and I wish I didn't have to wait till Monday to see it. Minnesota at Philly. Minnesota looked damn good this last week against the Packers. They made the Packers look like that dog water you were talking about last week. I mean, it was bad. It's got me contemplating my Super Bowl decision for sure. And Philly, they put up a lot of points last week against Detroit. I don't know if Detroit's just looking good or if Philly's defense is that bad, but I'm really looking forward to seeing them host Minnesota, man. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game. That Eagles offense looks real fun. Obviously, the Minnesota offense looks awesome. Jefferson was the number one receiver this week by a landslide, even over Cup. I don't know what I'm going to do the same thing I did with Miami, man. I went against them last week, so I got to go Minnesota over Philly. Sorry, Mom. I know you're a Philly fan. I love Philly too, but I got to go with Minnesota. Got to go with them this week. Caleb, how you feeling about that game, man? Monday night, prime time.
It's gonna be one hell of a game. I really, I'm not gonna say Knock is right just yet on Green Bay because I think his final prediction for Green Bay is just preposterous. But I really expected Green Bay to at least get out of bed that morning. Like, what? I don't know what that was. Aaron Rodgers he didn't look Aaron Rodgers at all.
So you saying Minnesota is
Minnesota
not as good as they looked?
No, I'm not. No, not going there. What I'm going is, I'm taking Minnesota. I really think now Minnesota is going. I think Minnesota is going to win this game, and
You've
Philadelphia.
got Philly winning this game.
No. I'm saying if there's anything I want to go back on,
gotcha.
I would say Minnesota would be winning this game. Philadelphia, they scored a lot of points, but there's a lot of question marks on the other side of the ball. I really didn't expect Detroit to be able to drop 30 plus points. That was different for me. So I think I have Philly winning. If there's one I could go back on, I would probably change that and say Minnesota's going to take this, man. I They looked really really good. Knock, what are you thinking about this?
I do agree with both of you guys that the Philadelphia defense looked like it struggled against what's arguably not supposed to be a great offense there in Detroit, right? So we saw Philadelphia give up 35, and that game was a lot closer than anyone suspected. I had the Lions scoring, double digits less than that. I think I had them scoring 28 instead of 38, or 25 instead of 35, or something like that. So, yeah, I'm excited about this week, though. Philadelphia, Minnesota. I've got both of those guys going deep into the playoffs in the NFC. And it's no secret, Philadelphia is my second team, so I'm definitely rooting for them. But I have a lot of faith in Miami. JJ Jefferson, Dynamite. That kid is the best wide receiver in the league right now. He can run any route. He can beat you over the top. He can beat you in the middle. He can beat you on the outside. The sky's the limit for that young man, and he brings a lot of style, and he's fun to watch also. So I'm definitely rooting for them. The defense for Philadelphia may give up some points, but I have Philadelphia winning a close game. The defenses are going to show up. I've got Philadelphia with my too early to predict at 23-17. And I'm going to just continue to roll with that. Why change it? Why mess with it if it's not broke? Don't fix it, right? So we're going to go with that and see how that plays out.
Awesome, man. I want to point out one last thing on this topic is we're talking about Philly's defense dropping so much to the Lions, but the old wise Nostradamus did predict that the Lions are a playoff team. So maybe it's not as far fetched as we think. I was thinking that this weekend when I saw them try to make that comeback run and started putting up points, I was like, they look like they could be a 7 seed. Like, honestly, because Philly, I think is going to be a 4 or 5 seed. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But I found that very interesting. I'm really excited for that game Monday night. Low key rooting for Philly for mom, but for my picks, I gotta go Minnesota. I'm putting my money on them. I think the Minnesota game is going to be good, man. Lot to look forward to in week 2. I'm really excited to see how these teams look. Even more excited to put some bets on here, win my half tank of gas back from Knock here. But I appreciate everybody who's been on here watching, man. And I appreciate you guys for being on here. Just wanted to let everybody know, if you guys plan on putting any bets in this weekend, please use my referral links down below. They will give you deposit matches, free bets, all sorts of stuff. It's different with each app, and I'll put those in the comments as well next to the links. And every single one of those signups helps out the podcast. So we greatly appreciate it with you guys. And, hopefully you guys are winning some money too. If you're as good as Knock, I mean, I know, Nostradamus over here probably made out pretty well last week, but
I just want to say that
yeah.
I am not Nostradamus. Do not bet money based on my picks and then try to message me on Twitter, okay? Because I didn't see that there was going to be a tie in the Colts game. Okay, I don't want to hear it. Don't close your 401k out and bet it on old Nostradamus here. Don't do it.
Oh, don't do that. No.
Man. Hey, I'm not even gonna lie though. I'm already like, what score did you predict for the Chiefs Chargers? I'm gonna put that in on my books real quick. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, for real though, man. I appreciate everybody for jumping on, man. We'll be back next week with some more updates. And until then, guys, have a great weekend.